CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Budget deliberations wrapped up today at City Hall with no mayoral vetoes expected. The property tax increase is set at 3.4% for next year, much lower than recent increases. Daryl Newcomb has more on London's last budget before next year's election.
This is one area where we can make a difference. This is a proactive program. We're keeping people housed.
Councillor Hadley McAllister argued that redirecting $250,000 from a council reserve fund to the rent bank would help more Londoners struggling to pay their rent and utilities. After a motion to top up the rent bank was not approved by the Budget Committee last week, the Salvation Army sent a letter to council explaining how demand exceeds the available funds each month. The deputy mayor said he could support one-time funding just for 2026 because it isn't coming from taxes.
I don't think it's good to take from one household to do support on rental for another household.
This is a compassionate program. I would have preferred to see it at the higher level, but I'm very happy.
Council unanimously supported adding to the rent bank. It was the only last-minute change before they finalized the 2026 budget. It includes a property tax increase of 3.4%, equal to about $130 more on the average tax bill. Combined with water and sewer increases, the average London household will pay $160 more next year. The mayor has decided not to oppose council's changes to his budget, including not reducing the street maintenance budget, extending free core area parking to 2 hours, and not reducing the annual resident satisfaction survey to every other year.
No, I'm not going to veto any of the changes council made. I'll provide that formal recognition of the not exercising the mayor's veto tomorrow.
The context under which these budget deliberations took place also significant, as London is only 11 months away from the next municipal election. Ahead of his re-election campaign, Morgan seems confident defending his multi-year budget.
The track record in this budget is pretty clear. We had to make some significant investments in some critical areas. Public safety, transit, housing and homelessness, and we actually invested a historic amount in libraries as well.
The first 3 years of his multi-year budget resulted in tax increases of 8.7%, 7.3%, and now 3.4%.
You'll see us going in a direction that is bringing tax rates down over time, and others are going up. But we are seeing the results from those critical investments, and I think that's what Londoners can weigh, is do they feel they got value for that money?
Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Meanwhile, Councillor David Ferreira voiced concerns today, suggesting landlords are exploiting a loophole in London's new Renoviction bylaw, removing low-income tenants from their apartments.
It seems like there's new means, new loopholes being leveraged to evict in bad faith.
London's Renoviction bylaw requires landlords who are renovating an apartment to obtain a license from City Hall before issuing an N13 eviction notice. However, the rules exempt landlords who are transforming residential apartments into commercial space. Ferreira says next month he wants to start the process in closing that loophole.
They can say whatever they want, but the truth is the truth. They are trying to create new commercial space in an area that's very close to the core, and we have a ton of commercial space that's vacant as it is that we're trying to fill. So a landlord coming in trying to say that we want to change the use of this residential unit to commercial in an area that has plenty of commercial space available, that tells me right there that is a bad faith eviction.
Parents of students at Mother Teresa Catholic Secondary say they were blindsided by a letter this month indicating their kids would have to transfer to a new school next year. School board officials say it's because of overcrowding. As Lauren Stallone reports, parents disagree.
Randy Diaz is concerned for her son Madden's future after receiving an email from his high school, Mother Teresa Catholic Secondary, that he, along with 43 other grade 9 French immersion students, would be reassigned next year.
As of grade 10, they need to be transferred to RMC.
Diaz says the news came as a shock to several parents and claims they were not consulted at any parent council meeting prior.
It's up to us as the adults to speak speak clearly and be the voice for the children. And I just feel like, again, everybody's doing the best that they can, but this should have been not thrown at us November 10th.
Diaz says the impact on students will be huge.
This is not just going to affect how they move forward in their schooling, but it's a bit of a setback for them.
She also says many parents will suffer a financial hit as a result of the transfer.
We've invested hundreds and hundreds of dollars into uniforms for our children to attend MTS. So if we're being forced to now send our kids to RMC, is there going to be some sort of compensation for those uniforms?
In a statement to CTV News, London District Catholic School Board says for the 6th consecutive year, the LDCSB continues to be the fastest growing school board in Ontario, with enrollment now surpassing 28,000 students. To meet this unprecedented growth and increasing secondary student demand for French immersion programming, the new Regina Mundi College will join Mother Teresa Catholic Secondary School as the second secondary French immersion location in London for the 2026-27 school year. The statement goes on to say, new school construction and portables are helping with the rapid growth across our district. Plans are underway to build 4 additional new schools, 2 elementary schools in London, and secondary schools in London and St. Thomas.
My response to that is this isn't something that just happened overnight. They were over capacity last year.
Diaz says her request is simple.
Just let the grade 9 students stay and graduate at their school.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
A multi-vehicle crash on Adelaide sent 2 people to hospital this morning. 2 cars and a pickup were involved. 1 car appeared almost completely split in half. Police say one of the people taken to hospital has serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The other was transported as a precaution. Provincial police say they've charged a London man with first-degree murder for a homicide in Bolton almost 5 years ago. According to police, 2 suspects entered a home in January 2021, shooting 2 people inside. A 65-year-old man was pronounced dead at the scene. Today, OPP say a 32-year-old from London faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, while 3 other suspects have been arrested. Meanwhile, a Canada-wide arrest warrant has been issued for 48-year-old Londoner Wahid Baraksi. He's charged with first-degree murder as well. Police say the public should not approach Baraksi if they see him. London police have announced charges against more people after a large anti-war protest outside RBC Place last month. They say 4 people from London, Hamilton, Toronto and Marmora now face charges. According to police, they were late after search warrants were executed at 4 addresses. Police say they seized smoke bombs, hard drives and protest placards. The charges range from obstructing police to mischief. Police say they're also looking for another person, 43-year-old Diana Thorpe from Toronto. Last month, police said they charged a man from LaSalle and a woman from Owen Sound for their roles in the October 21st demonstration. Municipal officials in St. Thomas are offering breaks on development charges for any builders constructing townhomes with secondary units already finished in the basement.
But the key is it's a new unit being built from scratch and being built to code. So it's safe, it's fireproofed properly, and it's properly constructed and it's brand new.
6 new townhomes will be built on Shaw Valley Drive with plans for 29 additional homes. It's a city council initiative to create more affordable units in new areas of St. Thomas. Municipal officials say developers will get $12,000 rebates for each unit built. The basement units are expected to rent for about $1,200 a month.
The chartered banks count 3/4 of the rental income towards your income test in qualifying for a mortgage. So that's a huge advantage for someone trying to get into the market and buy a house.
That's the big difference. For us to be able to use our community improvement plan funding, we usually use it to outfit a brand new apartment above a downtown store or something. But to take it for a new building, an affordable home for a new home buyer, what a great concept.
New stats on Canadian healthcare show thousands of patients have died waiting for surgery in this country just in the last year. Heather Wright has more on the impact for families when their loved ones are stuck on a wait list.
Debbie Fuster was expecting a straightforward triple bypass operation, a few days in hospital and then recovery at home. Except the Manitoba woman died before ever getting the surgery.
It still feels like shock.
Daniel Fuster says doctors told his mom she needed heart surgery within 3 weeks. She was left waiting for nearly 3 months.
There was some major mess ups that resulted in her file basically not going to where it needed to go.
Fuster is not alone. According to public policy think tank secondstreet.org, nearly 25,000 patients died in Canada while waiting for surgeries or diagnostic procedures between April 2024 and March 2025. But the organization warns the numbers are likely higher, as many provinces don't track these deaths or only collect partial data.
Fundamentally, these are embarrassing numbers, and I think that's why governments are not keen to go out and track them carefully.
Second Street is calling on all provinces and territories to track and disclose these deaths. They also want to see hospital funding tied directly to performance, a reform they believe will improve wait times.
It's crazy to keep doing the same thing, throwing money at the system and hoping something will change.
Another proposed reform is Debbie's Law, a Manitoba private member's bill championed by the Fuster family, which would require health authorities to inform patients when life-saving treatment cannot be provided in a timely manner.
Debbie's Law is not perfect. It's not going to solve every problem, but it is a great starting point to begin asking for transparency.
This year's numbers mark a 3% increase from last year, and according to Second Street, since 2018, more than 100,000 people have died in Canada while waiting for some sort of surgery or procedure. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A woman going through cancer treatment in Owen Sound says cancer care in Grey and Bruce counties must be overhauled. With more on her concerns, here's Scott Miller.
Pat Kelly is fighting her third bout of cancer. This time, it's palliative. She receives her treatment at the Bright Shores Cancer Care Centre in Owen Sound.
I wish everybody in the country had a cancer centre like we do. But we're going to lose ours because we cannot continue to expect 2 oncologists and all of those nurses to continue to keep that cancer center alive.
Last November, due to a shortage of oncologists, Bright Shores Health System started referring all new cancer patients not diagnosed with breast, colorectal, or lung cancer to cancer centers in Barrie, Kitchener, and London.
They are not supported by government, not supported by the administration, and no one is looking at the fact that we have not been able to retain, let alone replace, the oncologists we have.
Bright Shores says they've been scouring the world to try and find a third oncologist with no luck so far. Hospital officials say they've recently hired a part-time medical oncologist, which has got them back on track for the time being. This interim solution has minimized the impact on patients and supported our dedicated physicians and staff at the Cancer Centre. In September, we were able to resume our full-service model at the Cancer Centre, eliminating the need to redirect some patients to nearby hospitals. Kelly says Owen Sound's cancer care is still on life support in her mind. If one of their 2 oncologists leaves, she's worried Grey Bruce cancer patients will once again have to travel hundreds of kilometers for care.
Cancer patients should not be begging to keep their oncologists.
Recruitment remains a top priority at Bright Shores, say hospital officials, who say they are fully committed to delivering exceptional cancer care. Earlier this year, we were in advanced discussions with a highly promising candidate. However, that recruitment did not move forward. We remain focused and proactive in our efforts to fill this critical role and will continue to pursue every opportunity to strengthen our cancer program. In Owen Sound, Scott Miller, CTV News.
The province's Workplace Safety Insurance Board has officially moved into its new permanent headquarters, relocating from downtown Toronto. With more on the new digs inside the former 3M building in East London, here's Brian Bicknell.
300 Tartan Drive, London, now headquarters for the Ontario Workplace Safety Insurance Board, part of a move to decentralize Ontario's crown corporations, according to WSIB President and CEO Jeffrey Lang.
The Premier made it very clear when he asked me to do this. He said, let's bring some of these larger organizations out into the province. And so he chose London. I'm very happy that he did.
In 2022, the province announced it was moving WSIB from its office on Front Street in Toronto. Not long after, the former 3M office tower in East London was purchased for $21 million, reportedly about half of market value at that time. The move is expected to save the organization about $70 million per year.
Real estate values are about half of what they are in Toronto. So it made a lot of sense from an economic standpoint to locate outside of the GTA. But for us, and it also helps us attract people. because, you know, we had 3,000 employees in Toronto, and it's expensive to live in Toronto.
WSIB has been in this space since June. About 500 people currently work here, half of them having relocated from offices around the province. Eventually, up to 1,000 people are expected to work at this site. The move also means the closure of the downtown London office of WSIB.
We had about 250 people working in the London area. We had an office on Dufferin Street, and when this became available, of course, they're moving in here now, and we've got our senior executives and our learning and development centers.
The building is 110,000 square feet in size and has undergone several $1 million in renovations. It's located on a 50-acre property, which also supports the London Food Bank with a 1-acre on-site vegetable garden. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Still ahead, big changes for Southwestern Ontario baseball. The Inter-County League going pro with a full rebrand. Strengthen the base metal sector helped Canada's main stock index rise. The TSX up 280, the Dow added 315, the Nasdaq up 189. Canadian dollar gained a quarter cent today. On commodity markets, gold is up $25 an ounce and oil added 70 cents a barrel. An economic lifeline from the federal government today for Canadian steel products. The industry is coping with 50% import duties. Judy Trin has more on the measures to strengthen the domestic sector.
After enduring half a year of Donald Trump's 50% tariffs, Canada's steel industry is teetering on the edge.
Our order books are not being filled up at this moment because nobody's investing. It's such a real perilous time.
We must protect our workers and our industries who are most exposed to U.S. tariffs.
The Liberal government is introducing new measures to reduce the amount of foreign steel. The countries that Canada does not have a free trade agreement with will face lower quotas. Steel from countries like China, Taiwan, India, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates will now be limited to 20% of what they sold to Canada in 2024. The government estimates that could boost domestic steel sales by $850 million. Other countries with free trade agreements will be capped at 75% of what they sold last year. But U.S. imports won't be capped. But all American steel products will continue to face 25% tariffs.
This government will do whatever it takes to protect our sectors and not just protect them, but to help them reposition for the new global economy.
The government will also subsidize the cost of transporting steel and lumber by rail across the country. Internationally, when it comes to big defense procurements like submarines, Canada will continue making Buy Canadian a requirement.
We will absolutely make sure that there are steel and aluminum and sometimes, depending, lumber requirements, because we need to protect jobs in these tariff sectors.
Those were the carrots, but there's also a stick. The government announced it will end remissions or refunds for Canadian companies impacted by U.S. tariffs by January 31st. Mark Carney also said that he spoke with President Trump last night and that he will be headed to Washington next week as part of FIFA World Cup events. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. Strong, powerful winds across the region and snow squalls developing in Midwestern Ontario. It will be a rough start to the day in many areas as snow squalls are expected to intensify overnight. Temperatures dropping off first thing in the morning, a -1 with wind chills of a -9. Risk of flurries in London, but I am expecting some afternoon action. So we could see a couple centimeters develop in London. North of London and parts of northern Middlesex County will see some heavier accumulations. Thanks, Stephanie, for this cute photo of Rebel. I wish those bees were still buzzing around. Meteorological winter arrives in the extended forecast. I'll have your local weather coming up.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie Atchison now. And yesterday we were talking about how it was going to get interesting through the rest of this week weather-wise. Where are we at right now?
Well, we started the day at about 10 degrees. The temperature already dropping down to freezing. We have flurries and snow squalls tonight in Midwestern Ontario with widespread snow squalls developing. Now our temperature, as you can see, dropping off. A powerful cold front moving through the region. Behind that cold front, winds kicking around to the west. Now we are still under a special weather statement right across southern Ontario, warning of the intense wind gusts close to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. So that means any snow that's flying around out there tonight will be blowing. So blowing snow will become an issue as we head through the overnight and first thing tomorrow morning. There is the potential for about 5 to 10 centimeters in parts of Huron, Perth, Grey and Bruce County as we head toward tomorrow morning, and localized amounts of 15 to 20 centimeters expected as these snow squalls organize and get going. Now the cold air that's wrapping into the area will bring us wind chills overnight close to about -10. Temperatures dropping off between -1 and 0 right across the area. So any rainfall out there, of course, that fell through the early part of the day, the freezing will take hold. So watch for some very slippery spots in the morning. Now, in terms of snowfall amounts over the next 24 hours, quite varied. This is squall action coming off Lake Huron. KW could see 15 to 20 centimeters of snowfall as we head towards Waterloo, Wellington as well. You can see Shelburne coming in at about 16. Now, London reading 5 centimeters. That's as we head into tomorrow afternoon, evening. So we'll start the day mainly cloudy with a chance of flurries north of London coming in through Perth County. This snow squall looks intense. Again, this one could bring upwards of 15 to 25 centimeters of snowfall. So we will see those numbers start to climb heading into your Friday. Flurries expected in London Thursday night into Friday. So we will start your Thursday on the cold side, mainly cloudy conditions. Chance of flurries in the morning, still quite gusty winds as we head through the day. Now they will shift northwest eventually, but expecting a westerly flow. Again, wind gusts upwards of 60 kilometers per hour. Afternoon flurries leading to about 2 to 4 centimeters of light snowfall, +1 as we head into your Friday with flurries, mainly cloudy on Saturday and +1, and then heading into Sunday, the risk of a rain-snow mix. We will be above the freezing mark. On Monday, mainly cloudy, overcast on Tuesday, and a mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday. Now, this is the beginning of meteorological winter, and a little chunk of that polar vortex is going to wave its way into the lower Great Lakes and allowing all of this cold air to spill down. So temperatures are expected to drop off. Overnight lows anywhere from -4 to about -7. So flurries and squalls in the forecast in through Huron, Perth, Grey and Bruce County as we head into tomorrow, developing some intense bands overnight. Please plan accordingly. Please plan your travel and slow down out there. Flurries and snow squalls expected on Friday. The intense wind gusts across the region will continue through the day tomorrow, winding down Thursday night. Saturday, flurries continue at +1, +2 on Sunday with the risk of a rain-snow mix. But look at the overnight lows over the next 7, anywhere from -1 to about -5. And factor in the wind chill. We're in for some frigid temperatures. So the arrival of meteorological winter on December 1st will deliver some winter-like conditions. A bit early coming our way tonight through the overnight and over the next few days, dodging snowfall and snow squalls across Midwestern Ontario.
Thanks, Julie. A London man is back home after what he calls one of the highest honors of his life, an invitation to meet Queen Camilla in the UK. As Rita Ismail reports, the retired Reverend was recognized for years of volunteer work.
Keith McKee and his wife Jan have just returned from London, England, where Keith was invited by Buckingham Palace to meet the Queen.
This is the awards ceremony, including...
For more than 9 years, McKee has volunteered as a judge for the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition, the world's oldest writing contest for young people.
I started off judging about 150 essays a year, but last year I judged 500. So in total, I think it's about 3,000 essays that I have judged.
This year, Her Majesty personally requested that McKee attend the annual awards luncheon at St. James's Palace to thank him for his work promoting literacy around the world.
Jumped at this opportunity to travel with my wife, and so I went to the competition.
Many of the essays came from Canada.
Inside St. James's Palace, McKee joined diplomats, ambassadors, and the contest's young winners to meet Queen Camilla.
The Queen is an extraordinarily gracious woman. She has a beautiful smile, a great sense of humor, and she has a profound interest in Canada.
Outside of meeting Her Royal Majesty, Keith noted another highlight from his trip.
I never thought, as a Presbyterian minister, I would ever drink champagne with Jerry Hollowell Horner, who was one of the Spice Girls, but I ended up doing that. She's been an ambassador for a couple of years. It was incredible.
Reverend McKee says he'll continue promoting the essay competition across Canada, hoping even more young writers will submit entries next year. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Finally tonight, the Inter-County Baseball League is rebranding, launching next season as a fully professional league. With more on the changes and what it all means for the London Majors, here's Brent Lale.
Say goodbye to those 4-hour Inter-County Baseball League games.
We're going to have a pitch clock.
This week, the IBL rebranded to a professional league, calling itself the CBL. Among the major changes will be the implementation of a 15 to 18-second pitch timer, similar to Major League Baseball.
We got a bunch of kids, young kids that need to get to bed by 10:30. At the latest, hopefully we're getting them home in time, cut the games down 20 minutes or so.
Former pitcher and two-time IBL champion Braden Farrington is in favor.
You don't want to be there for 4 hours. It's especially when you see big league games coming in at 2 hours, 220, max 250.
The regular season and playoff formats will be restructured. A salary cap and more import spots will be added. The changes come at a time when attendance is booming. Last season, nearly 250,000 fans watched the IBL.
The talent in this league has been tremendously improving year over year over year, to the point where we had, I think, over 60 players last year who had either major league or minor league baseball experience.
That included former big league all-star Fernando Rodney.
In order to attract the best talent and compete in this league and win, we have to become professional and start paying them. To date, players have come in for a variety of different costs and expenses that we reimburse them for, mileage and travel costs, and in some cases accommodation, and some other types of per diems. But in order to take it to the next level, we have to become a professional.
As a player, it gives you more security and, free space to have an understanding of, okay, I am getting paid, not when I'm getting paid. That's going to draw bigger and better players that have played somewhere.
The league also says the ticket prices shouldn't be impacted by the rebrand, and they will be preserving the 108-year history of the IBL. Brent Lale, CTV News.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.